Hey, RetconRaider here. Today's video is dedicated to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, with special thanks to Revenant, Anerdinwarpaint, Antonio Hernandez, Icestormshadow, Matthew Holmquist, Nathan Welch Jr., and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to the Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous beta, as we pick up right where we left off last time and continue working our way through the dreaded shield maze. Though, to be fair, based on what we've seen so far, it's less of a maze and more like a poorly planned cultist co-op. Though, again, to be fair, as far as cooperative housing goes, I've certainly seen worse. Let's get back to it.
Quiet steps. Weapons ready.
Yeah, see? That right there? That's a safety hazard. We've got some sort of pit. Could be part of a shrine. Okay, no, that's more of a charnel pit. Or maybe just trash disposal. Cambion. As we saw last time, certainly nothing we can't handle. I'm assuming there's more than one, but we'll focus fire on this guy first.
Did we step on their toes as well?
Once more, into the fray. Huh, not bad. She'll be a lot more dangerous once we get her weapon focus and fencing grace. There we go. Target Kaiser at your own risk.
Go for their hearts!
Told ya. I warned him. Everybody heard me. Also, that's a bit more like it. Creed's still slow, but at least he can actually get into the fight. I can't help but notice we've got some very distinct, brightly colored gems on the wall there. Kaiser, fetch me my notes. Poor guy. He really should have just dropped his bow as a free action. Then he could have gotten off one swing before, Creed pulped him. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is related to those portraits we saw earlier. Yellow, blue, red, yellow. And this is definitely more of a torture chamber than a shrine. And there we go. Now that looks more like a shrine. Seal peers closely at the sword, which seems utterly unexceptional to you. Wait, this is... No, it can't be. Her eyes light up. I know that hilt. Radiance, the sword of the great Yaniel. That's what this is. But it's meant to be in the Tower of Estrud with all the other relics. That's what I heard, at least. Well, of course, this rusted piece of metal must be that very same sword. Camellia rolls her eyes. I think you merely wish that this were the illustrious sword of legend. You don't get it. I've seen this sword 100 times, in paintings and in the hands of the Yaniel statue. I've even thought of going to the Estrud Museum to see the real thing in person. How did it get here? What's so special about it? Seela frowns. Now, nothing, I guess. But this sword was legendary in its day. People say that when Yaniel held it, the blade would glow, striking demons left and right. Soldiers would see Radiance's light from afar and take heart, rushing into the fray and winning. But I don't know what's wrong with it now, or how to restore its power. All I can sense is that they made a mockery of it. You're empathizing with an object? Extraordinary. Are all paladins so tender-hearted and sensitive? Sensitive in a way, yeah. We're highly attuned to evil and everything wrought by demons. Radiance was in evil hands, and as a paladin, I can tell you they did nothing good to it. Who is Yaniel? No, you've never heard of Yaniel? She's famous all over Golarion. She was a great woman. She was born in Mendev, and when the Crusade started, she couldn't just sit idly by. She dedicated her life to the Crusade. People say she was audacious and spirited. She was always the first into battle, and she never sacrificed other people's lives for a tactical advantage. That's how she's been remembered, as an incredible warrior who seemed to blaze with righteous fury. In all the images of her, she looks capable of driving all the demons back to the abyss single-handedly. But then something happened between her and her commanders. Maybe they envied her. Maybe there was more to it than that. I don't know. But anyway, she went into the World Wound without her fellow soldiers. And she didn't just survive the mission. She even brought back Crusaders she rescued in there. Can you imagine? She died as she lived, with pride. She was one of the people defending Dresden to the very end. That's where she perished. Seela frowns. Don't take this the wrong way, but I really hope that she died quickly. A hero's death. Because if she didn't, that means she was taken prisoner and had to endure unspeakable horrors. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. You seem to know a lot about this Yaniel. Are you a fan of hers? I suppose you could say that, Seela chuckles. I've always felt an affinity with Yaniel. I knew what it's like to not be what your commanders want you to be. Whenever I used to feel under pressure, I always thought of Yaniel. Maybe some people didn't like how she was, but to people she pulled out of the World Wound, she was perfect. And to the people she saved on the battlefield, she was incredible. And to those who keep her memory alive, she is a hero. That's what counts. How could such a priceless relic end up down here? Yaniel disappeared, but by some miracle, Radiance was recovered from the battle. No one else has ever wielded it. It is Yaniel's blade, and always will be. That's why it was put in the Tower of Estrad with the other Crusade relics. But now it turns out that somebody stole it. Seela laughs. I have this weird feeling, like I'm rescuing a fellow warrior from a dungeon. We can't just abandon it, even if it's no use to us. It's no use to anyone down here. But what if it could be repaired? Well, I can certainly take a hint. We'll grab the sword and keep moving. In fact, let's have a quick look at this thing. Even if it's not enchanted yet, it might still come in handy. Especially if it's cold iron or masterwork. Okay, so it must be an unusable quest item for now. I'm not seeing it listed with the other weapons. Oh, right. Guys, I've solved the mystery of why Radiance wasn't showing up in our inventory. Not, I suppose, that really helps us in the short term. Once again, we still don't have anyone who can actually ID this stuff. But I'm guessing it's probably +1, but also potentially cursed, so we'll hold off on equipping it for now.
I hope you appreciate this.
Okay, so that gets us the sword that was mentioned in Hosilla's note. And that's what the portraits were for, but where is the shrine? I don't think we missed anything in the unfinished wing. Oh, okay. It turns out there was another door back in the blood pool room. You know what? I must have been so distracted by the blood pool and the secret torch lever that I didn't even notice that other door. That's got to be where we have to go.
What's that there?
Thank you, Camellia. Well, I don't know if I would call that a shrine either, but that is definitely a point of interest. We've also got some dretches, but I am fairly certain that's your basic bargain basement demon, so we should be fine. Damage reduction or not, that opening shot was pretty impressive. I guess that's one down. This actually feels kind of underwhelming after some of those earlier fights we had to get through. Nicely done. Let's see what that gets us. Judging by the corpses littered around the summoning site, the cultists did manage to summon a demon in the end. Hey, good for them. Okay, moving on. This seems like your classic grand staircase to build tension before a final encounter. Let's just do a quick spot check, make sure we're not missing anything obvious. Right, that was the broken sewer access. Yeah, I think we're good. Let's go pay this Hosilla a visit. Side note, that is a very unfortunate name. Praise Iomade! Here you are, huddled together like a herd of animals. Pitiful monsters, not human or demon. Even tieflings are less effective than you. But I, your master, Sabemelech, can make you better, stronger. I can satisfy your hunger, starvelings of the dark. Submit to me. No, we are the descendants of crusaders. Trusting a demon would be a betrayal of their memory. Well, who is the next descendant of crusaders who values old legends more than their life? Beasts, monsters, and human guise, reveal your true nature. This is the sweet, wholesome flesh of a righteous Aasimar. Eat, underground crusaders. Eat the flesh of the crusader from above. Find your true strength. You rush at the demon, but the air seems to grow thicker with every step. You feel like you're watching from underwater as you see the mongrels fall to their knees one after another and crawl to the Aasimar's body. You hear their fangs tearing through the flesh. You hear the sloshing of blood. You hear the former mongrels snarl like animals, fighting over the most tender and juicy bits of meat. Your companions writhe in agony. One clutches at their head, another doubles over. You feel saliva pool in your mouth. The metallic tang awakens hunger in you. The hunger turns to rage. This winged filth dares to try to bind you to its will? It dares to tempt you with the sweet scent of meat, untainted by corruption? The wretch must die. Die! And still, the clarity remains with you. Somewhere deep down, beneath the veil of rage and anger, you sense the light, trying to break through. By sheer force of will, you master your rage, and, almost in response, warmth suffuses you from within. Warmth and joy from a simple realization. You can win. You can save these people. The power of heaven bolsters and guides you. Its light breaks free and, enveloping the mongrels, grants them the gift of blissful oblivion. Lowering your gaze, you see a scarlet stain on your chest. The wound has reopened, and instead of blood pouring forth, you see only radiant light. The demon convulses in pain when the light reaches him. What are you? Destroy this vermin! Hosilla points at you. He's already wounded. Wenduog, kill! Wenduog silently emerges from the shadows. I'm no longer your slave, Hosilla, but I will gladly kill anyone who pokes their nose in where it doesn't belong.
I'll tear your throat out.
Well, that is a shame. Looks like we'll have to beat down Wendu. And she seemed like such a sweet gal. A noble spirit embiggens the smallest man. Ow. We'll go for Hosilla first. Maybe that'll prompt Wendu to back off. You know what? Let's soften her up a bit.
Make every strike count.
No, not
Oh,
like this.
well, You know, I really thought she'd be a bit tougher than that, but okay. I do notice she's still in the timeline, though. That's odd.
Into the fray!
You are today's sacrifice.
O mighty Savamalek, your faithful servant invokes you now. Demons, protect your mistress.
Do not fear! Do not waver!
One last act of defiance in the face of overwhelming odds. I can respect that. And then RetconRaider.
The spirits demand your blood.
The light take you!
Wow, these things are actually surprisingly durable. But alas, they are not Kaiser-proof. It turns out that very few things are. Okay, so now what? Do we have to execute Wendu? Because that doesn't feel right.
Endure this!
No,
Not like this.
All right, and then Kaiserrader. An increasingly common fate amongst cultists, it would seem. Okay, there we go. The wounded Wenduog looks up at you. Well, are you going to finish me off? It's not exactly unexpected. Lan turns to her, his face twisted in fury. The lizard half is snarling, the eye narrowed. What else are we supposed to do with you? You're not just a traitor, you're a monster. The young ones believed you, and you lured them to a demon and watched them eat human flesh. I was trying to make them strong. What have you done for them? What were you doing while I was looking for ways to bring strength to our tribe? You're useless, Lan. I led by example. I trained. I tried to become stronger so I could go to the surface and maybe do something worthwhile with my stupidly short life. And I will do it if Creed will have me. I might be the one to bring our whole tribe to the surface. But you, why would you want any power that turns you into a monster? These young guys and girls, they trusted you, and they were turned into mindless animals ready to eat corpses at a demon's command. I went through the same ritual as them, but I didn't become an animal. I conquered my anger. The anger that has been building and building in every one of us for decades. Unlike you, I have no intention of just lying down and politely accepting death. I will rise above all this, while you'll still be stuck with your pride, chewing on rats. The bleeding, deep wound on your chest is gone, like it was never there in the first place. The skin is totally smooth and unmarred. Sighing loudly, Lan whispers, "It's gone. It was just there, and now it's gone. It's got to be some kind of demonic trickery. You need to have a cleric look at that." Wenduog smirks and holds Lan in her searing, scornful gaze. If he has been marked by the abyss, do you think some nobody priests will be able to help? No, the demons have branded this uplander, and judging by the smell of the blood pouring from his chest, the demons will be able to find him wherever he goes, and they'll find you too, Lan. The huntress permits herself an indolent, gloating smile. Her sharp fangs glint menacingly in the gloom. So, you've been serving Savamalek this whole time? Better to serve a strong master than to eke out an existence in a dark hole with no hope. I am of the Neethers. Our lives are short, but our bodies are hardier than humans. I realized a long time ago that I was capable of more than this life offered, and I follow whomever is the strongest. Lan looks at Wenduog in disgust. I thought you were better than that. I thought you were proud of your heritage, but you're willing to crawl on your belly before anyone who's even a little bit stronger than you. You're not a mongrel. You're a cave slug. You have no understanding of the meaning of family or tribe. Wenduog laughs. Oh, so now you think you know everything about me? You're one of the best hunters in the tribe. It benefited me to ingratiate myself with you, so I acted in a way that pleased you. Why didn't you just stop us from going inside the maze? You knew we might uncover your secret. Savamalek is always in need of new servants. You'd make as good a servant as anyone else. And then, Wenduog bursts into laughter. Once you'd gone missing in the maze, not even the redoubtable Lan would have dared look for you. But then, why did you come with me to look for the sword? So I could kill you quietly if you found it, and stop you taking it to the village, you idiot. I would have told everyone that you got caught in a cave-in. But then the Uplanders showed up, and I had to change my plans. Yep, that's definitely a bit more in keeping with neutral evil, I think. The compulsion had no effect on you. Does that mean that you ate human flesh, too? Yes. Wenduog holds your gaze. Hosilla found me in the caves. I was lost and hungry, and she offered me a choice. Die as a nobody, or live and gain the power to change everything. Savamalek tore off a piece of an Aasimar priestess's thigh. A big, juicy piece. More meat than I'd ever received in the tribe. Wenduog laughs. That was the first time I knew what it was like to be happy. To have a full belly. I swore to myself that it would always be that way. Then the madness and rage took over. I came very close to turning into an animal, no better than the weaklings you saw in the maze. But I am strong. I mastered myself. I brought myself under control. I fell so that I could rise again. Lan looks at her like she's just turned into a hideous monster. You should have chosen death. Dying's better than living like that. You're saying I should have died that day, Lan? But then who would have listened to your feeble jokes? Who would have showed you the best caves for hunting? A predatory gleam appears in Wenduog's eyes. Who would have made you a man? Inappropriate. As far as I'm concerned, you died today, Wendu. It hurts, but I'm mourning who you were before, not who you became. Don't ever come near me again, unless you want an arrow between the eyes. What did your service to Hosilla entail? It was simple. I lured those I deemed worthy into the maze. To the rest, I told stories of the horrors of the maze, making them stay away. It all hung in the balance when the cave walls shuddered, and many of the young ones decided that the time of their great exodus had come. I had no doubt that Hosilla would dispatch a dozen young Neathers easily. But what would become of the maze if all the tribes poured in? So when Lan ran off to look for the Angel's Sword, I went after him. Not to help him, but to make sure that the sword never reached Neathholm. It's a pity that you got involved and stopped me from killing him. But then again, the evening gong has not yet been struck. You sicken me. Interesting. So we've got a bit of a choice to make. I mean, obviously the big choice is Wendu or Lan. But we can also choose to kill or spare Wendu. And we could also just refuse both of them, which might have some interesting consequences. But, of course, for the purposes of this run, I think we're going to have to lean towards Lan. But we'll also spare Wendu. Not just because it's what Lan kind of seems to want to do, but also because I am legitimately curious to see if she ends up coming back at some point. While she is definitely an unrepentant villain, she's a very interesting character. If I do end up running a more amoral party in the future, I'll definitely have to make room for her. Leave. I never want to see your face again, Wenduog. Wenduog leaps back with surprising speed. Do you think I like looking at you, Uplander? I'll just wait till you're asleep, and then I'll slit your throat, no matter where you are. She's sweet. I like her. Lan takes a breath. She's gone. But next time, she won't get away. Damn it, Wendu. Why'd you have to go and... Anyway, there's no point crying over spilt milk. Give me a couple of minutes. I'll bring the chief and the rest. I need to clear my head. Chief Sol appears, flanked by mongrels. The journey has taken its toll on him. His breath is labored, and the sweat is dripping from his bloated face. What? What's this? Anevia gives a low whistle. Well, I'll be damned. Turns out old Hullrun wasn't as crazy as we all thought. There really were demons down here. I should have listened and sent a patrol down here. Damn it. Orgus's lip curls in distaste, and he tries to keep his distance from the unconscious mongrels. You said you were in charge of recon for the Eagle Watch, Anevia. How could you miss a nest of demons beneath Kenabres? Anevia sighs. Yeah, right. Like it wasn't enough that I sniffed after every damn shadow in the city. Everybody knows the stories about the demons living beneath the streets of Kenabres. Those tales are as old as the Crusades themselves. I messed up, but you fixed my mistake. So, thanks. It's fine. How's the leg? Anevia winces slightly, but forces a smile. Better than yesterday, worse than the day before. I'm not going to die, don't worry. Well, that's good at least. We should burn this place with holy flame. The place is overrun with demons, but that's not the worst part. Wenduog, she's been working for the demons all this time, luring the young, strong mongrels into the maze. He nods at the unconscious mongrels. We might still be able to save these ones. They can't get any stupider, that's for sure. But they might be meaner than they were before. But I suppose all teenagers are monsters in their own way. Sol laughs, but it comes out as a rasp. Ah, Lan, we don't waste words on people who don't listen to the tribe. You act the fool, you suffer the consequences. Sol gives a ragged sigh. Wenduog, how could she? She deceived them and then she left. What's become of us? Chin up, Chief. The kids you rescued are safe now. The demons are gone and the traitor's been dealt with. All's well that ends well, I say. You do need to look after these young mongrels. I don't know what they'll be like when they come to, but look after them, Chief. They went through something horrific today. Not everybody is capable of enduring something like that. It will change them forever. As long as they can hunt, the rest can wait. Uplander, and you, Lan, you shaved them. Only the gods can salvage their souls. But we are a tribe. We will think of something. And when they're stronger, they can go up to the surface. The time has come. On that, we agree. It's time to get out of here. Chief, I think I'm going to lead our visitors to the surface. And I'm going to keep going. Something interesting is happening out there in the world. Maybe it's my chance to do something more useful than skinning cave rats. Sol heaves a sigh. You never were one of us. You always looked up. You think I don't see these things. Our life is not for you. Go. But where do you go now? Where is the way out? Beats me, but these beasts got down here somehow. Lan searches Hosilla's body and shows you some papers and a key. I don't know what these documents are, but I'm sure this key will come in handy. Anevia's eyes quickly skim over the letter, and she passes it to you. Those cheeky sons of... This is all the information on the cultists in the city. Their meeting places, passwords, their secret hideouts. I think we should show this to whoever's in charge of Kenabres right now. As soon as we get back to the surface, we'll find out what's what. Cultists Dispatch. Savamalek, this is my last warning. You need to act discreetly, without attracting any more attention than you already have. People are already talking about the strange disappearances of Kenabres' most righteous men. Keep below ground, nurture your mongrel pets, and wait patiently. The call to battle will soon come, and it will sound loud and clear even down there in the catacombs. Gather your warriors immediately after that, bring them to the surface, and lead them to the Tower of Estrad. This tower will be my final dagger, and I shall plunge it into the guts of Kenabres. Our vicious servant Faxon made the tower his base of operations several months ago, taking command over the Templar forces in Kenabres, while the Grand Master was distracted by other matters. Faxon has already gathered a stash of weapons, potions, and other useful supplies, which he will gladly share with you if needed. If he behaves himself, you two should combine your forces. If not, just take his stupid little head off his shoulders and take command yourself. Mistress Monago. I see. Well, I guess that certainly explains how that sword Radiance made its way down here, if it was previously on display at the Tower of Estrid. I suppose we'll have to make our way out to that tower at some point. I assume we still need to deal with this Faxon guy. Not to mention the mysterious Monago, who seems to be pulling the strings. A couple of magic weapons, unidentified of course. Other miscellaneous goods, nothing of particular note. Best of luck. When the time comes, we will follow. At last, we're getting out of these filthy caves. How about it? Want to head up? People are probably worrying about me up there. Yeah, you know what? We've still got a few minutes left. Let's at least poke our heads up, see what's what. Okay, so these are just oddities of the mapping system. Not necessarily indicative of hidden passages or the like. I just hate the idea that we missed anything, but I feel like we were pretty thorough.
While the survivors wander the dungeons, the battle on the surface rages on. The warriors of Kenabres are trying to defend the wardstone, but their strength is flagging. Their resistance is valiant, yet it will all be in vain if no one rises up to turn the tide.
The surface, finally. I miss the fresh air so much. Hello, surface world, here I come. Aren't you happy to see me again? Oh, Lan. This steep rift leads to the catacombs under the city, where the mongrels live. I can hear the sounds of battle from above, out of the pan and into the fire. Alright, you know what? It sounds like we're heading into another fight, so I guess this does make a good breaking point, especially with the interlude we just saw. That does seem to indicate we finished the intro and are now heading into Act 1. We'll cut things a little short for now, but we will pick up here next time. Which does actually bring up an interesting question as to whether you guys would like to see shorter episodes like this, but with more frequent uploads, or longer episodes less frequently, like the hour-long ones I've been doing. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, but either way, we will hit the pause button for now and pick up here next time, as we return to Kenabres to see how they've fared in our absence. See you then. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, the official YouTube and Twitch channels, the official social media feeds, or the official store pages. As always, links are in the description.